we cannot deny the impact of what Luigi Mangione has done and what that is ultimately going to result in as we go forward. And I think that the other viral clip that you made that I think is extremely relevant, which Jen has been talking about in terms of what really needs to happen, we're going to play it right now.
We need a general strike in the United States because under capitalism, genocides are profitable. The exact reason for a general strike lies in the very definition of capitalism to begin with. Private ownership of the means of production concurrent with the exploitation of labor. Baked into the capitalist's equation, therein lies the antidote. For a capitalist's greatest strength is simultaneously their greatest weakness. Profits. Capitalists can only turn a profit by depending on you, the worker. If there are no engineers to build the weapons, no drivers or operators to deliver them, no longshoremen to load or unload them, no technicians to provide logistics, no administrators to push the paperwork, no clerks, no operators, no workers, just severed links in the supply chain, then the mass murder cannot continue, and the exploitation of the American working class can stop. Genocides are completely destructive, but for all of the devastation that they wrought, there is exponentially more organizational power and creative energy put into producing one behind the scenes. We are the producers, but we don't have to produce this. So in solidarity with the working class and in solidarity with the Palestinians, I support a general strike.
So May 1st, 2028.
Yes, May 1st, 2028. You know, actually, also December 19th, 2024, in a couple days, I'm going to be speaking. I made that video for an account called General Strike for Resignation, and they're an organization that you know, is basically trying to get the word out about general strikes. And we're doing a virtual town hall with Chris Smalls, who's one of my heroes.
We've had him on. We've had him on we had him on before.
Way before.
They even had organized. Yeah, we're old.
No, I like how you're like, no, I knew him when.
I knew him. No, but he's also connected to the reason why we no longer have a website, because we were being sued by Reuters for, ironically, Reuters wanted to sue me for using a picture that they took of Chris Smalls that we had on our website under our change maker section. And I'm like, the irony of that is the picture that's the issue. And I'm like, you know what? It's not even worth it. I'm just taking it down. We don't even need our website anyway. But.
That's pretty base though. That happened to you. That's pretty cool.
And I would also
flex right there for sure.
And I would also say that the relevance of this particular message is one that I think comes full circle with Mangione, because no matter what we try, and I know Jen hates when I say this, but I am a participant in the capitalist system. I'm in commercial real estate.
I don't hate when you say it. I just disagree with it and think that it's misguided information.
Fair enough. I'm gonna, I can still acknowledge that the system is broken, and that much like the people that still try to defend the system and say the problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money, of course, not acknowledging that they know what they're talking about. What I say about capitalism is this. The problem with capitalism is that you eventually run out of people to exploit. And that's essentially what the system is built on.
And other people's money. I mean, it's propped up by, state funding and, government bailouts. So it's all public money that they paradoxically, hypocritically need. There's so many contradictions in capitalism. I could go on and on, but it's so defined. It's so important to share these hypocrisies, I think. But yeah, getting back to Luigi Mangione, I mean, it's that double standard. I mean, what I'm trying to tell people is that social murder is murder. Economic violence is violence.
It's violence. Yes.
So
oh my God.
Yeah. How do we not see those, that double standard, that it's okay to deny people healthcare and kill them. And when the poor fight back, well, that's, a brazen targeted attack. And, what a ruthless M-worder. I'm trying to.
Yeah. No. How long have you been in this space, like the sort of anti-capitalist? Because, For me, I've always been, at some point, I know I was in the libtard category. I'll have to own that. I voted for Bill Clinton twice. I did what I did. Like, I can't.
And I still appreciate you doing that. I'll never forget it.
So I have to and I'll have to, I'm atoning for that shit probably for eternity. But like, when was it that you said you're a music teacher, so you're not a philosophy teacher. You're not like a Marxist economics professor. So like, what got you into that sort of mindset?
That's a great question. I feel like there's two aspects to this answer for this question. I think consciously it happened in 2020 for me, going through COVID, just, the lockdown. I poured into Noam Chomsky lectures and then just started diving into leftist literature. And it just resonated with me. And I think once you hear the truth about the state of the world, because I think everybody's grasping for answers, everybody's trying to make some sort of sense of what's happening. And, that was the moment, I guess, when I had time to just sit down and do nothing, where I started to dig and think more critically about my world, that it's very much resonated with me. And I just became fascinated. I mean, it felt like a fire was lit in my mind. Like I just had to learn as much as I could about all of these important issues. And, given my skills as a teacher, I guess, in being able to I had to learn to be an effective communicator. And, being creative, I guess, also, it just led me to want to make content about the things. I've always sort of made content about things that I'm passionate about. And at that time, and then, if you had caught me in a different point in my life, it would have been about something else, but, at that time, it's like, okay, that's what took off. So I'm sort of leaning into that now, because I feel like it's working, but, and I feel like it's important. But I also think that it started, I've always been, whether I knew it or not, anti-capitalist. I mean, I've always rejected this political economy somehow. And I think that's why what drove me to become a musician and then ultimately a teacher, because I came from a well-to-do family. I don't know what the term upper middle class means anymore.
I don't either.
But maybe you could ascribe that to my family and my socioeconomic status as I was growing up. I mean, I went to a nice school. My stepdad was, a CEO of a vending company. I mean, I could have certainly climbed the corporate ladder if I really wanted to, but I was just repulsed by the whole thing. And I never really knew why. I just knew that capitalism was just gross, and I wanted nothing to do with it. And getting back to your point about how you're into commercial real estate, so you're taking in capitalism, I would say capitalism is compulsory. I mean, we're all taught to fend for ourselves, and there is no ethical consumption in capitalism, and we're working for corporations in one way or another. So I don't fault working class people for trying to come up, in this political economy.
It may be a limited amount of principle, but one thing I do adhere to are certain principles within the confines of commercial real estate. There are certain people.
He boycotts certain nation state people who are involved in genocidal behavior.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they're involved,
he doesn't work with certain said people that support that.
Yeah. And I make a point not to.
That's good.
And that is something where, thankfully, I'm not in South Florida anymore, because anytime I would go to conferences, particularly in Miami or Fort Lauderdale, that's who's there. And they dominate the industry. And this is part of the reason why they are able to get away with this, because when you get right down to brass tacks, this is all about money and power. There is no hidden agenda. There's no hidden agenda in Gaza. There's no hidden agenda in Ukraine. There's no hidden agenda in Taiwan. Everything is all connected to money and power. It's like right. Lindsey Graham coming out like a couple of weeks ago acknowledging that there is upwards of $8 trillion worth of natural resources in Western Ukraine. I'm like, we've been saying this for how long now?
Yeah.
You're just starting to come around to it. And then you find out that BlackRock is basically planting the seeds to do all of the rebuild in Ukraine once things are finally settled. It's
how nice of them.
But the
Mhm.
propaganda is just incredible. And I think what your intentions, which I think are great, is to just cut through the bullshit and just say the Palestinian people deserve human rights, and every which way that they can try to rationalize, because let's be honest, that's what real racism is. There is a real inherent bigotry in Zionism that believes that we are the chosen people, therefore we are superior and we could do what we want. And all those brownies out in the Middle East, you know, they can all die for all we care. That is real egotism in our culture that I hope is getting broken down.
Yeah.
And that I think is changing. And I think that because of the videos that you've made, I think that that impact is definitely being felt. Do you feel that that is, however slowly it may be happening, but that we are in fact turning a corner as far as that's concerned?
I 1000% believe that. And I do believe that there's power in social media and changing the culture around these topics. I wonder, you know, I wonder if it's enough. You know, it's just disheartening, you know, every day waking up, seeing another Israeli airstrike. It just keeps going on. It's been over a year. I know that I'm making somewhat of an impact. I don't know how big it is, or if it's certainly not enough. I mean, we need to all be doing more, and it's a joint effort. But I do get a lot of positive feedback from strangers that message me saying how, you know, not only did I change their minds, but now they're changing other people's minds, that they're family members or friends. And so that means a lot to me to know that it's had an effect. But yeah, I do wonder if it's enough, and what
It
I
has
should
an
be doing.
effect. If
Yeah.
you want to know like something where I know for a fact it has an effect, it has effect on the Palestinians that are stuck in Gaza that still get communication, because every time that they know that there's people that are standing in solidarity, it does matter to them. We know people here who are connected to people there, and I know that that's something that they see, and that it's important to them to know that the world has not forgotten them. So it like that alone is extremely important.